It's Thanksgiving! Yes, if you're like me, you've got a small intimate celebration going on because the I am following the CDC guidelines and we kept our Thanksgiving situation small this year. So this video today is about what I'm grateful for as a reseller, and I'd love to hear what you're grateful for because we could all use some positive energy right now. So be sure to leave me a comment and stay tuned. Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie with Three Queens Resale, and if you're new to my channel, thanks for stopping by, and if you're returning, thanks for being a part of my reseller community. And that is what my video is about today, is what I'm thankful for and what about reselling makes me so grateful and thankful. And one of them is the rich, diverse community that I have been able to be a part of. As a full-time teacher, I definitely have a community of educators that I have become great friends with through the years, and we've grown up professionally in my 23 years of teaching. But and some of those people are some of my closest, dearest friends. And when I started off in reselling over 2 years ago, I really just kind of was like, it was just a hobby that I did, and I wasn't, really telling people about. And, I started reselling 2 years ago, but I really wanted to resell like 5 years ago. I was like, because I loved to thrift, and I was like, I wish that I could buy stuff from the Goodwill and sell it online, and that could be my job. And I remember my sister saying, that's crazy. You'd have to work really hard to make that happen. Nobody would buy stuff online. And then fast forward, here I am 5 years later, where, yeah, people do buy stuff online. And I found this rich community, first on Instagram, but then on YouTube, of people who are just as passionate about thrifting and reselling as I am. And I'm just very thankful to have this community. Um, I went to Poshmark 2 years ago when it was actually live. And then this year on Poshmark, you probably got to see my face. My video was featured in the opening um, people with all the opening videos. So I was really excited about that. But when I went to Poshmark 2 years ago, I was this shy girl who went by herself out to Arizona and didn't know anyone. And I met Leslie from A Reseller's Passion and some other people, some local resellers here in Indy that I've been able to kind of stay in contact with. I know I'm part-time, so on top of everything, it's always hard it's hard to connect with my family that lives in a city, let alone any other people. But just keeping up with each other on Instagram and watching each other's YouTube videos and supporting each other's small businesses um, has just really been a blessing for me. And I really want to talk about Leslie for a second because I had a conversation with her at PoshFest 2 years ago, and whenever I get down and think, what am I doing? Like, what's going on? I always kind of like think about that conversation with her because she was so positive, and I am one of those people who believes that people come into your path for a reason, to teach you something, to provide you with something. And it was just crazy how a person that I had seen on YouTube for over a year sat down next to me at a random table at PoshFest and started talking to me. And not only did she start talking to me, she said, I think you look familiar. I'm like, that's because I follow you on Instagram and I like all your stuff. So I was like a little bit of a fangirl. But also at that PoshFest, I met Bexa Boss Lady and the Dill Queen and Nicole State. And I'm sure none of these people remember me, but I definitely remember them, that they were so kind, um, and even speaking with me or taking a picture with me, or, talking a little bit about their business. And, even if they never come to Three Queens Resale, they took the time to kind of welcome me into the reselling community and make going to Posh Fest all by myself, just that part worth it, and kind of push me along. So that's one thing I'm thankful for. Another thing that I'm thankful for is that I am able to, through a part-time job, pay off debt and pay for my girls' all-star cheerleading, and I don't have to say no, you can't do that, or no, we can't go here, or no, you can't have that pair of cheer shoes. Now sometimes I do because kids need to hear no, but I can't. It's the reason I'm not saying no is not because I can't afford it. And I remember there was a time in my life not so long ago where I couldn't afford things. And there's no shame in that. To anyone who's out there, definitely live within your means and understand where you are. But, as a single mom, just 10 years ago with my oldest daughter, and she wanted to do this crazy expensive sport, and I was tutoring and I was doing all types of side hustles that took me away from her. Um, and so now I'm able to be at home with the kids. They occasionally walk in a video or you hear them in a video. So I'm able to be at home and do this when I can do this and not miss out on time with them, but also make more money. I control how much money I make. I'm not working for some piddly hourly wage. Um, I'm working for myself, and there's just so much pride in that. So that is something I'm definitely grateful for. Is just the financial freedom. Being a part-time reseller has provided me and my family. And if you aren't reselling, it's just something. Just give it a try. Start with 10 things in your home, and you know see where it goes. And then before you know it, you'll sell your first thing, and you will be hooked, just like I was. Um, and I do say to cheer parents, because during the pandemic, one of the things that I did for years to raise money for the girls cheerleading was that I would work concerts out at our music center here. It's called Rue Off, and that's where like everybody comes, like Bruce Springsteen, like all the big shows come through there. So I would work out there, selling concessions, 10 to 12 hours on my feet, dealing with drunk people, rowdy people, rude people, sweeping up, cleaning up, and none of those things are beneath me. I would do it again and again if it meant providing for my family. So I don't want to ever give the impression that that type of labor or work is beneath me, because it's not. Any work for an honest wage is not beneath me, to provide for my family. But that once again took me away from my girls and my you know time that I could have been spending with them. I was out there doing that work for 10, 11, $12 an hour, so that I could support them in their passions, doing cheer and tumble. And it was a pleasure of mine to do it. I will always do what I need to provide for them. But now I have this replacement money that I don't have to do that anymore. And that um, cheerleading is still going on even in the pandemic, and it's still expensive as ever. But people did not have that the concert venue this year because there were no concerts because of no large gatherings. So I have been reaching out to different ladies who I know who used to work out there all the time with me, that have, like me, multiple kids that do this extremely expensive sport, and saying, hey, why don't you try reselling? Sell your kids old clothes, sell your kids old shoes. You know how our teenage girls like get something and wear it once and then they don't want it anymore. Sell it on eBay, sell it on Poshmark. So just trying to let them know my story about how I have been able to, pay for that extracurricular and other things, buy things around my house, buy things, go on trips. So just something that I'm seriously grateful for, that reselling has provided me, is that financial freedom. And I think the last thing that, not the last thing, but the third thing that I want to talk about that reselling has provided me with, and I'm very thankful for, is the ability to be my own boss. Um, I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like since I was a little girl, like I would think of like all these different businesses, but I don't know what happened along the way. You go to school, you get a job, you get bills, and you find a niche, and you kind of just like do it. So I kind of just was a teacher, like, and it's not that I dislike teaching or anything. It's definitely working in the urban suburban school setting has definitely been a passion of mine. Um, and I have had an opportunity to work with some amazing children and had some amazing life experiences because I work in an urban school situation, and I know I have made an impact on the world in doing that. I see kids, now adults, every day, that I was a teacher for, and they always are very, thankful. Now, I wasn't, people don't always love me, but they do always remember me. So, but even with being a teacher, I'm not, in some ways, you're on your own boss, but you still do answer to a school board. And I wanted to create a business where I was the boss lady, and everything was my decision from the top down. And so being a reseller has given me an opportunity to do that. I am my own boss, and if I decide to take this full time, I am confident that I can make as much money as I do as a teacher, being a reseller. If I put the same amount of energy and time that I do in preparing lessons for students, emailing, actually delivering instruction, providing feedback, grading papers, if I put all of that time into reselling, I am confident that I would make the same amount, if not more, money. Just because it's mine, and I just know my heart, my hustle, and so yeah. So being a reseller has definitely, and with that has come some creativity, allowed me to be more creative, allowed me to think outside the box, allowed me to kind of like awaken me again, and allowed me to dream. I'm like, okay, I do this, so maybe I could try this, or, this YouTube channel. I've taught myself everything about YouTube by watching YouTube videos, and just these are all skills I didn't have a year ago. And so it has just grown me as an individual and allowed me to achieve a lifelong dream of owning my own business. So, what's next? Well, you will have to stay tuned and find out. But there are some things that I'm planning to do in 2021. I will definitely continue reselling because, let's face it, it's fun. It's fun to shop and find hidden treasure, and it's fun to hear that bell notification that something has sold and send it out and get 5 stars. Or, it's not fun when they want to return something, but most of the time it's fun. So it's definitely, something I'm excited about. But I will tell you, one of the things that I am going to do with Three Queens is I am going to get a business license and incorporate myself so that I can start building it and just branch out if that's what I decide to do. Who knows? But that's what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're thankful for. We have had a rough year. And when I say we, I mean the world. It's particularly if you live in the United States. No matter what your political affiliation, this last like month has been stressful with just everything that's going on in the news and the uncertainty with our own political situation and the pandemic. A girl can only, and then we had all this like racial injustice going on. A girl can only take so much, So we've had a rough year. So I would love to hear some positive things. What are you thankful for this year? We can't do much about the bad, but we can always look forward to the future with our heads held high, and just be grateful for what we do have. And I'm so excited. I hope you will continue to follow me on my reseller journey. Give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.